Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Chill Film Discussion. This is episode 51, where we discuss films. Today's episode will be The Revenant. It is a 2015 adventure drama film directed by Alejandro Iñárritu. I probably mispronounced his name. I apologize for that, but it's loosely based on real events from this fur trapper by the name of Hugh Glass
Yeah.
back in the early 1800s when they were sort of like it sort of describes his harrowing experience with a grizzly bear. He got attacked by a grizzly bear and then he survives, miraculously survives, and is able to um, basically try to get himself back to the fort. So it features Leonardo DiCaprio as the main character of Hugh Glass, and he did win his Oscar in this film. So finally, like it literally took DiCaprio to kill a bear, even though it was a CGI bear. He had to kill a bear to win an Oscar.
Right.
So wow, props to him. He definitely deserved it. His acting was phenomenal. In fact, it was like one of his films where he talked the least, but like it was all body language. Body language, facial expressions. So props, yeah, he definitely deserved it. It also stars other actors, like it stars Tom Hardy, I think, as Fitzgerald, who is like the main antagonist of this film, ends up killing um, Glass's son, and then that's what propels Glass to like sort of survive, so he can exact revenge. Um, but yeah, overall, this film, like, there's a lot of like interesting tidbits of how this film was created. A lot of fun facts about this film, which I won't really go into. You can look that up yourself if you're curious. But I'm just really like amazed of how much like dedication and how much
Yeah.
like time was put into like creating this film, and it definitely pays off because like all the scenery that you see in this film, it's very beautiful and it's all natural. Like there's hardly any sets that were made. It was all filmed on location for the most part, and the lighting behind this film was all mostly natural. I say all most of the most of the scenes, except for like one or two, are like natural lighting. Um, and like, I mean, the plot itself is pretty straightforward. It's a revenge plot. It's a survival
Yeah.
plot. Like he's literally mauled. He needs someone to survive. You see the journey from literally death to exacting his revenge on Fitzgerald for killing his son.
Mhm.
And so the plot itself is straightforward, but like just seeing that journey and then seeing like the how it was filmed, um, just the thing that the sheer amount of like willpower and like things that he had to do to just survive was
Yeah.
a joy to watch in general. I will say that there was a bit of like the shortcomings from this film. I think kind of fell along the lines of like the subplots. I think the runtime of this film was a bit long, especially considering that some of the subplots were a bit. It didn't end maybe as well as they could have. There was a character named Bridgers who like didn't have a very um, satisfying ending. Uh, his arc kind of finished off screen, if you will. Um, and then there was the whole like subplot with the chief of the uh,
Arikawa.
Arakawa, yeah. I'm gonna mispronounce that name too. His journey was to find his lost daughter. And he did end up finding his lost daughter, but like there could have been more. I think there could have been more involved with like
Yeah.
his journey of finding his lost daughter, or like maybe could have been tied in more with like Glass's plot, because it did eventually just tie at the very end, but it wasn't like, yeah, it just felt disconnected in some sense.
Yeah.
They either could have like had more, especially with the runtime, like they could have put more scenes into his plot, or they might have just taken it out in general. That could have also been a thing and made the runtime a bit shorter. Um, but yeah, overall the acting was great. The cinematography was wonderful. The scenery was beautiful. Like, and just seeing DiCaprio just literally survive from bear attack to like it was pretty well done. So overall, yeah, this film was well executed. Just a bit. There's
Yeah.
just a bit of like critiques with like the handling of
Yeah.
the other subplots, but overall, the main plot, fantastic. Loved it.
Yeah. I think, I'm probably going to parrot you, Patrick. Like, really enjoy this movie. It's an epic tale, right, of one
Yes.
guy's kind of journey for revenge,
Hmm.
which I did enjoy, right? We got to see how he survives these kind of outlandish situations,
Hmm.
but he's able to pull through, right? And you always try to root for him, and you're always trying to see how he overcomes it, and he does. So that's always exciting. That's always interesting, just to watch that journey.
Hmm.
And also getting the satisfaction of him getting his revenge at the end. I think, yeah, the same of the critiques, the same as what you said. The kind of the subplot with the Arakawa is, could have been probably put in more, or kind of, more closure. I think the end with, the connection between the chief's daughter and Glass. Just some kind of like, acknowledgement, I think, or just even more sprinkled out the movie, just them trying to find it, or just, as you said, just something more, or as you said, pulling it back. And then Bridgers, I think that's also a big sticking point for me, just how, his story concluded. I wanted something, more conclusive, right? Instead of having him just be ending it, with him being hauled off and then being cleared off screen, right?
Hmm.
Having him either join them on the journey, or, having a connection between Bridgers and Glass, where they kind of, have this emotional, kind of meeting where they, he apologizes, or just apologizes for what happened to Hawk, and, the truth comes out, like the whole situation of how, Bridgers was kind of, fooled, right? Had the wool pull over his eyes, and, in this
Yep.
situation by Fitzgerald.
Yep.
Or at the end, we've kind of discussed before, like how, Bridgers, either helps in the end, or, kind of, dies protecting Glass or something, right, to redeem himself at the end, or, to be involved in the ending. Um, Either way, we just wanted some better closure for Bridgers, because he did have a stake
Hmm.
in this. At least it's something he has a bone to pick with Fitzgerald, that we wanted to see. Kind of with this whole movie about revenge or justice, right? He needed to have some kind of closure as well to this
Hmm.
story.
Hmm.
Um, and I think also for me, the ending theme, right, um, when Glass kind of, doesn't really finish off Fitzgerald directly. He kind of, maims and disables him, and then he sends it off to the Arakawa to kill. He has this line like, revenge is, goes back to the creator, or, the creator will handle the revenge.
Hmm.
That whole theme, that whole scene didn't really, resonate well with me, because like he already did it, right? He already exacted his revenge, and he pretty much, finished the job. He's not actually doing the killing. Um, I don't know if this message kind of was muddled right at the end, and even throughout the film, right? Because he's always that it's what drives him, right? He goes to his son, he carves the name, he carves the message that Fitzgerald was my son. He's really going for it, and at the end of the movie, I mean, I'm still satisfied that because he pretty much does the revenge, right?
Yep.
But his whole line, he's trying to, not do the deed himself, kind of confuses me. It doesn't really make so much sense. And they probably could have, either, made that message a little bit more clear throughout the film, or even at the end, just because I wasn't too sure what they were trying to tell the audience, and what the main theme here was, like what the motive here. So it kind of confuses me,
Hmm.
how that whole movie closure. I mean,
Yeah.
the ending of the movie is not unsatisfying, right? Because he does get Fitzgerald, right?
Yep.
And whatnot. But it's just the way that it ended. There could have been probably better ways to do it, right?
Right.
I think. Um,
Yeah. That's fair.
yeah,
Makes sense.
but
Makes sense.
overall, the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio did really well in acting, as did most of all the supporting characters, right? And they were all very interesting and add to the story and whatnot. The
Hmm.
captain does make some questionable decisions, and um,
Oh
as
yeah.
we kind of went over.
Oh yeah.
But overall, cinematography is great. Just seeing the landscape is just beautiful, right? Just always seeing these big panel shots of the nature and whatnot. It's always enjoyable to see. At least I love it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I also really liked this movie.
Nice. Final ratings. All right. So I would give this movie an 8. A
An
very
8.
solid 8. Definitely enjoyed it for the most part. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Just in general, but just to see like if you like DiCaprio's acting, like just to see what he had to do to win an Oscar, finally win an Oscar. This is amazing. And yeah, like I think the shortcomings just come from mostly like the subplots. They could I
Yeah.
think some of them can be resolved a bit better, or like I mean even with the ending that you mentioned, Austin, with the whole like revenge not being in my hands, and having the chief kill Fitzgerald at the end, like do the
Yeah.
final blow. Yeah, like, I think there could have been a little bit more tie-in with like that message,
Right.
and
Right.
because I totally forgot like where that message came from in the first place when I so I had to be reminded. So I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall solid movie. Great acting, great cinematography, just great dedication to
Yeah.
creating this film in general. So yeah.
Okay. For me, I think I'd give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Really, yeah,
Fascinating. All
really
right.
enjoyed the movie.
All right.
Just enjoy seeing this. Just the way it's like pretty cinematic. I think just like
Yeah.
those. It was a very straightforward plot line, but it's something that you can follow along, and you just really want to follow the character, right?
Mhm.
But I would recommend it, but it is again a pretty long movie, right?
It
Two and a
is.
half hours,
Yeah.
which it could be, I'd maybe slim down a bit here and there, but overall, I think I enjoyed the watching experience. And just the plot, and yeah, this most of the things that critique that could have fixed it probably was a lot of the subplots, um,
Yeah.
that we have, but definitely
Yeah.
would recommend.
Awesome. Cool. Well, that concludes this discussion of The Revenant. We will be back next week with a new film to discuss, which we will update the schedule with because we always decide after the stream. But yeah, until next week, same time, same
Yeah.
place, different movie. All right.
Same movie.
Yeah, same movie from a different perspective. All right, cool. Well, that's it for today.
All
Have a
right.
good day whenever you watch it, if you watch it, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.